All right, so I just moved. We're here, just moved, new setup, the whole thing. But I've been having many people asking me to go over the balance data sheets, Storm Field Manual, etc, etc, etc. And so I'm gonna pop these into 3 separate videos and put them on the second channel in case you miss it. This is helped out by the wonderful people at Tabletop Tactics because they are just really good at condensing all the changes that GW makes and making it concise and clear. And they're great, and they have very good battle reports and wonderful commentary. They have a great YouTube channel, as you can see up here. Do check them out. If I will put a link to them in the description of this video, or this is a live stream right now, but it will be turned into a video. And yeah, they're GW doesn't like tell you what stuff has changed and the like with the points, so it's nice that these people go and do it. So the balance data sheet of Q3 2022 has just come out, and it seems to be, I'd say, a pretty good one overall. I'd say it's pretty significant in a lot of ways, maybe sometimes a bit too much, but it's interesting. So for Armor of Contempt to start off, it is now being given to the Astra militarum vehicles. I did just play a game with this along with Demeki, where he played as the Coven, what's it called? Where like the Army of Renown Coven for the Drukhari. And I felt it pretty well. He didn't really have a whole lot of anti-tank major stuff like that, but the Astra Militarum vehicles now having Armor of Contempt is really nice, especially with the Lehman Rust that now has a 2-up save, and something else that I will mention later. So that's good. Everything else from Armor of Contempt is still stuck around, but you know, it is what it is. Aircraft and indirect fire are the same. Bodyguard is the same. I guess they did some stuff here, but this doesn't matter. Sisters of Battle are the same. Great. I love the extra miracle dice. That's obviously very wonderful. Guard. So Guard had a couple changes. Number 1, Hammer of the Emperor allows you to have auto wounding on 6s in shooting, so long as you were all 1 regiment for Guard. This originally had a problem where Tempestus Scions wouldn't count. Now, if you do something like Alcadia and then a squad of like Lambden Lions Scions, you're good. I think it also means that if you're running full Scions, you're also good. So now they get 6s to hit auto wound as well, which is really, really good because a lot of Scion weapons are like hotshot las guns or strength, I think 3, AP 2, damage 1, which is really bizarre profile. And I think with Lambden Lions, they are AP 3. So being able to wound on 6s to hit is great because you weren't wounding really well with strength 3. It's really nice. The other thing that's nice is that the Baneblade gets a 2-up save, or Titanic models. It's mainly the Baneblade, which also means that with Armor of Contempt and the 2-up save, your Baneblade basically took all the AP that was being shot at it and moved it by 2 whole points. I brought the Baneblade in that Guard game I played. It didn't die. It was very good. It survived for a while. It also hits really fucking hard because they also get Hammer of the Emperor. I'm pretty sure. I hope I didn't fuck that up when I played that game. It's really nice. Having it is good. It's not great. It won't change the game much because a Baneblade for its points is still drastically worse than a tank commander, but it's still pretty good. Custodian's got no changes, which is fucking aggravating because, like, yeah, right. I was hoping they at least give non-character infantry their obset back. Like, yes, I agree. Like, Custodes' internal balance is so bad, and there are only a couple builds that are great, and it makes a lot of other Custodes stuff really mediocre. And I don't want to. I own a Custodes army. I don't want to play them. I just don't. They're the way they play is just so boring. Like, why did they take away the obsec? Like, the stratagem stuff is one thing. Why did they take away the obsec? I don't get it. Fucking whatever. Anywho, Mechanicus got a lot of buffs. So the Iron Strider and Dragoons got their core taken away it has now been given back, which is real nice. There's clandestine infiltration, which I think is the Stygies stratagem, if I'm not mistaken. Acquisition at any cost is fine, whatever. Galvanic volley fire got better, which is pretty damn good. Enriched rounds got better as well. It backtracked a whole lot of the old school stuff, the nerfs that they gave them, because AdMech was falling behind pretty bad. Dragoons should have never lost core, in my opinion. That was like a melee thing, and they weren't that great. They could use like a 5 to 10 point nerf, in my opinion, or buff removal. Iron Striders, I am ready to see like 9 of these again, because these things are nuts when they're buffed up properly. Their Cognus las cannons are really, really good. This is all good. I think it's a lot less scary because of the armor of contempt meta. But it definitely will make certain things, like a bunch of Iron Striders rolling up and blasting a tank up or something, to be pretty frightening. I'm just glad that AdMech got some stuff back, because they were struggling for a bit. For a while I thought they were doing okay, but this definitely they were having some problems. Drukhari didn't get any changes at all. I don't know. I fought Demeki's Drukhari, but he brought the Coven Army of Renown, so it's not really indicative of anything. I don't know enough about Drukhari. Craftworlds got some changes. Craftworlds. So I don't know a whole lot about Craftworlds' points, but I do know about their stuff, their abilities. Number 1, Hail of Doom is now a single thing, can't be combined. Good. That was exactly what should have happened. If you don't know, Hail of Doom made it so that 6s to hit auto wound and counted as 6s to wound with shuriken weapons, which made that, I think shuriken's like +2 AP, I think. And I think cannons went from AP 1 to like 3 with that. I forget exactly how it went, but it made shuriken stuff you just spam shuriken stuff and it was disgusting. So this is now only a single thing. It's all encompassing, which is great. It makes it so that it's not too big of a nerf to Hail of Doom if you still want to take it, but it doesn't fuck over anything else. Eldritch Storm maybe got nerfed a little too much. So Eldritch Storm originally was an absolutely ridiculous stratagem. It was 3 CP, but it basically picked a marker and then you'd roll 2-ups. And then I think everything within 6 inches took D3 mortals, and then like plus, and then you gotta keep casting it per Farseer to add like D3 +1 mortals. So it was like this giant like vroom, vroom, vroom. And basically if you were all castled up or you had a big group of like characters and stuff, you just got, they all just died. Like they just all died. It was one of the most ridiculous stratagems I've seen in actually a bit. I can't believe they had to go off on a 2-up like that. I'm shocked. They hit it and made it so that it's only, I think, D3. You need line of sight. It goes off on a 4-up, not a 2-up. Yeah. I'm not sure about the rest of it, but I don't know, like a couple nerfs to it would have been fine. I don't know. My mind tells me that maybe it was over nerfed, but I hated that stratagem so much that I kind of don't care that it's over nerfed. But you know, I don't know. Maybe something here should have been adjusted. Maybe they should have kept one thing. Maybe make it go off on a 3-up instead of a 4-up. I mean, it is, you know, Eldar. They are good at their psyker stuff. It's kind of like their thing. I don't know, whatever. Magical Agility now lets you reroll battle focus rather than auto-moving 6. Oh, right, this is the strategy thing. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, I guess. I suppose, I don't know. Magical Agility was kind of whatever to me. It stops some of the non-interactivity? Where you can't interact with your player, whatever the term is. That's actually better to talk about the Fire and Fade thing. Fire and Fade is now once per game, which I think is actually maybe a miss. I don't know if Fire and Fade, like it's 2 CP still. If you're gonna make it once per game, at least drop it to 1 CP. You know, like at least do that. If you're gonna do it once per game, at least make it less punishing and make it only 1 CP. Hell, if anything, maybe make Eldritch Storm 2 CP instead of 3 CP. Like a little bit of give and take. This feels like they got slapped a little too hard. And Yeah. I'm not as familiar with Craftworlds as I am with some, but Halo Doom and Eldritch Storm were the two things I was the most familiar with. And Halo Doom change was great, and Eldritch Storm change maybe a little bit too much, but I fucking hate the strategy. I play Sisters, which means I have to have like 5 characters right next to each other with a bunch of units together, and so that made life very bad. Space Marines. Nothing, you're fine. CSM. Nothing, you're fine. Death Guard. Nothing, you're fine. Tyranids. Oh boy. Okay. The Nids. The Nids. The Nids. They were a little strong. Just a teensy tiny little bit. Just a little bit. So, the first thing is that a Hive Tyrant must be your Warlord. Which is totally fine. That's a very Nid thing. Like, of course it should be your Warlord. It's a fucking Hive Tyrant. But it also plays into the fact that synaptic imperatives are only activated so long as the Tyrant is alive, which is a little similar to the Necron thing, where you need to have characters, well, we'll get to the Necron soon, characters alive in order to have your command protocols active. This is a bit of like a plus and a minus. The main thing is that Tyrants were super often used to run up and beat the absolute shit out of everybody because they were nuts powerful, and then run away. However, this makes it so that you're taking a pretty big chance with running out and beating up on people. And since Tyrants are over 9 wounds, they can't be bodyguarded unless you're running Tyrant Guard. So forcing you to run Tyrant Guard doesn't feel good, and it kind of sucks that you have to keep your Tyrant alive for a while in order to keep your synapse stuff, your synaptic imperatives, that is. But I don't know. Obviously, tactics boys are, oh no, decisions and choices in a strategy game. I get it, but I would like it that maybe you don't lose it entirely. I wish there was some in between. The fact that maybe it's because they can't be bodyguarded properly like normal. I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess you could just not take a Hive Tyrant, but they're so good and they're fluffy, so yeah. This last part is the hyper adaptations part. This is removed in the pregame stuff, and it's now in the list building stage, which I actually don't like. I don't feel like the adaptive part of the rule was really that strong. Like, it was pretty good, but I don't know if it was the game-breaking part of NIDS. I thought the game-breaking part of NIDS was the part where their data sheets were really fucking strong and they were undercosted. That's what I thought the game-breaking part of NIDS. I don't know if this was the part. And it also removes some of the fluff, and I hate when fluff is removed. I love when the fluff is really solid. So I don't know. I don't like that they removed this. That makes me sad. I would have been okay if they kept this, because it's just, I'd take slightly stronger for a good fluff mode, you know? Tau, nothing, which is fine because the points ate your ass. Crons. Holy shit, Crons. Now you know me. I have a Cron army. I have a big Cron army, actually. Let me just say, I think they may have gone too far. Maybe. Just a bit. They may have gone too far. Okay, so command protocols got changed. Now you just need to have any character alive, not a noble. Great change. Incredible, wonderful, super good. Some lists, especially Cryptech heavy lists, didn't have any nobles or only one noble, and that made this awful. Great, awesome, love it. Next up, protocols are battlefield wide. Should have been that way in the beginning. Amazing, great. What I've been wanting forever. So good. You don't need your characters babysitting shit. Incredible, so good. Lastly, You, with 5 battle rounds and 6 protocols, you had to only pick 5 and 1 went away. Now, the one that is away is actually active the entire game. The entire game. If it is in fact the one that of yours, like they say here, Hungry Void for Novak, you get both. Now, if it's active the entire game and it's not your main one, then every battle round you can swap between the two. Like, because there's the 2 directives, you can choose directive 1, directive 2, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. This is so fucking strong. Holy shit. Like, having a Hungry Void open for Novak the entire time is kind of nuts. Because if I'm not mistaken, if I go to Crons right here and I go to command protocols, the Novak one is the protocol of the Hungry Void, which is, if I can click on it, oh crap. Okay, hold on. Command protocols. Here we are. Which is wound rolls of a 6 in melee increase the AP by 1 and +1 strength every time it's the first round of combat. You literally just got +1 strength the first round of combat. If you were, let's say, Vengeful Stars, Mefrit, +1 AP on wound rolls of a 6, no cover. Like, your army ignores light cover across the board. Your army ignores light cover for the game. Sudden Storm, the entire game you can shoot and perform an action. Also great. Personally, the one I enjoy the most is the protocol of the Undying Legions. Every time you make a reanimation protocol roll, you can re-roll 1 of the dice. That's just good. If your people are getting plinked off 1 by 1, that means it's a 5 re-rolling every time, which is amazing. It's a huge thing right there. Like, there's a lot. There is a lot. Hell, the Eternal Guardian's okay, but it's just such a giant, wonderful change. So good. Core. Let's see. Core is pretty cool because they added a bunch. Spiders and vehicles, which is a little aggravating because as much as I love that all vehicles got it, it makes me mad because my beautiful, lovely Canoptic Doomstalker War the World son of a bitch is a monster. Which is aggravating because that means it doesn't get core. And I love that model. It's so cool. But spiders can now be rezzed and given buffs. Vehicles can now be given buffs. So you can give My Will Be Done to a Monolith or the Silent King, because the Silent King having core is in fact intended. They specifically stated that. They said, even hit your majesty, the Silent King. So let's not forget that the Silent King gives full rerolls to hit in shooting and full rerolls to wound in melee. So if you're rolling up with 3 like Doomsday Arcs or Flyers or even like Monoliths, I think you're getting full rerolls to hit. Jesus Christ. You can Veil of Darkness a Doomsday Arc, like a command. Yeah, I don't. It's really bizarre, and it feels maybe a little bit too much and a little confusing. Like Catacomb Command Barges are now core themselves. You can Veil of Darkness the Silent King. Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know if it's a good change. Also, now that the Silent King is core, that means the Triarchal Menhirs are also core, which means they can be rezzed, I believe. Let me double check this. Yep, they're vehicles, they have core. So Illuminor Xerath can res, and like I think Technomancers can res Triarchal Menhirs, which I hope is FAQ'd because that's fucking stupid. That's dumb. Like I get it. Us Necrons want everything right now, but that's dumb. And I would like Illuminor Xerath, if he's lucky, can give the Silent King T8. What? Or permanent +1 to have a 1-up ballistic skill so that he'll never take minuses to hit. He gets full rerolls to hit to himself. Like the Mineers get full rerolls to hit. He gets full rerolls to wound in melee. You know how fucking strong that is? Do you know how many attacks he gets? He gets 13 attacks in melee. Minimum. You get 2 more if the Mineers want to hit, I guess. Some of his attacks are at strength 8, AP 4, flat 3 damage. What? It's ludicrous. And also in the Nephilim world where we have less CP, and if you take the Silent King, you get 3 CP. I'm gonna be on Necrons for years if I keep talking like this. I'm moving on. Orks. So your buggies got changed. So nice they did this. You can take 3 models of each now instead of being forced to put them in a squad. Love that. I love that. It was so dumb. I'm still glad that they don't let you take 9 buggies. That was stupid, but this is nice. I love that part right there. The Wah, holy shit, the Wah. So instead of just being +1 attack and advance and charge, it's now +1 attack, advance and charge, +1 strength, and a 5-up invul in stage 1 with a 6-up, I guess a 6-up invul in stage 2. A 5-up invul on your Orc boys. You get an invul in a battle round against your t-shirt save. Like, oh my god. And +1 strength, like, oh my god. Foot slogging Orcs. That's so scary, especially since both Orcs, regular boys and beast snaggers both went down a point. Like, oh my god. Wow. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Quins. Wow. So Quins got shit on. I don't know if it'll necessarily make them bad, but it's one of those kinds of shitting on things that makes me think of like Custodes a little bit, where they removed everything fun. They removed some things that were fun, and I don't know. Your 3 rerolls from Left of the Laughing God are gone, which is really sad, and it's basically like the main trait of taking only Harlequins, which just sucks ass. Light Sadith is 18 inches. That one was okay. Light Sadith was a bit dumb. I'm okay with the 18 inches for the Light Sadith. Or, you know what? I would have rather they did like the Alpha Legion thing, where they did Light Sadith 18 inches away for vehicles and 12 inches away for infantry. I think I would have preferred that one instead, like a nice little middle ground to make Voidweaver spam less annoying. Dark Sadith is on a death in melee on a 4-up. They do a mortal wound after they're destroyed to a max of 6. It's weird. It makes Dark Sadith significantly worse, but also a little better. Like they mention it in here. So if you are the one getting charged, it makes Dark Sadith far worse. If you're the one charging them, it makes Dark Sadith better, because then when they die on a 4-up, they do a mortal, so you might, like they say here, charge someone, you'll do a bunch of damage, you might lose a couple, and then by losing a couple, you do the mortal wounds back to them, and then you kill the enemy. Little weird, you know? Little bizarre. Don't know how I feel about that one. I think Harleys will still, I don't know. I think they'll still be fine. They'll still be good, but this is a little, I don't know. I like the Harlequin stuff. Overall, for the data sheet stuff, overall, let's see. Armor of Contempt on Astra militarum vehicles, great, feels good. The Baneblade getting it, great. Scion's getting it, great. No, I wish they brought back some Custodian stuff because I hate playing them now and it makes me sad. Mechanicus, great. Glad that they're getting their stuff back. Craftworlds, maybe a little heavy-handed. Halo Doom was great. Eldritch Storm, maybe make it 2 CP. And Fire and Fade, now it's only once per game. Maybe make it 2 CP or 1 CP. But a little Tyranids, adaptive part, really don't like that. And but for the rest, I guess is fine. But the adaptive part, I'm really sad about that one. Crons, it might be too much because like you might think on your own that this won't make Crons that like too strong, but we haven't talked about points yet. And the Silent King is the second best character in the entire game. The only thing that's better than the Silent King is Abaddon. And that's a whole other bag of worms. This might be too much. Orks, awesome. Foot Orks needed a buff. This is great. Quins, I'm iffy on. I feel like all three of these were a bit, I don't know, iffy. All three of these, like Light Sadist should be, I think, a little adjusted with the 18 and 12 inches. Dark Sadist, I don't really know. Just lower it to like base 2 rerolls and look at the Laughing God or something. Like, don't just do something like that. It's like don't. I think you took away way too much. Make it. I don't know. I think it took too much. Anyway, that was the balance data sheet. I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's as good as the last one. The last one they did was really good. The changes to indirect fire, the bodyguard rule, the aircraft rule, armor of contempt in general. All these things were great. I think that was all the same thing. Well, regardless, this was all wonderful. And it's not quite as good as the other one. Also, nothing for Gene Stealer cults. Would have liked that. And nothing for demons, which, bro, demons are like, they just forgot they existed. They just forgot demons existed. Full stop. I don't like Armor of Contempt personally. I like Armor of Contempt because it is a very good band-aid fix. I would like Armor of Contempt in a perfect world. Everyone's AP everywhere would just be reduced by 1, basically, with some exceptions, obviously. Because Armor of Contempt is great for the game. It makes casual Space Marine lists way better. It gave Sisters a lease on life. It makes, you know, some chaos stuff way better, make Death Guard tankier, etc., etc., etc. It just happens to suck a lot of ass for certain armies that don't get it, i.e. Crons, Orks, Gene Stealer cults, etc. Demons. Especially Crons and Orks. Crons and Orks felt it the most, I think. So yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like you had this big fluctuation of stuff, and half the stuff was really OP, and then you took the middle ground stuff and you pushed it up pretty well, and by doing so, the other stuff kind of went, eh. You know, it makes it better, but it's not, you know, it's not perfect. In my opinion, Armor of Contempt is just really good for making good players able to work with Marines a little bit better, and it makes casual and like semi-competitive games way better and way more enjoyable. I think the game is in a way better state with Armor of Contempt than without, but it is a band-aid fix, obviously. Anyway, that's it for the data slate. It's about 30 minutes discussing this thing. I'm going to hop into the wonderful point changes and talk about those.